Hello, class. This is James Saunders, your instructor, coming to you from beautiful Sparta, Tennessee. I'd like to welcome you to our class, Minority Group Relations, or as I like to call it, Dealing with Diversity. Now, over the next 5 weeks, we're going to be examining, reading, discussing, and writing about various issues tied to this topic of diversity. Our syllabus, and hopefully you've taken the time to look through that. If not, let me encourage you to do that. Our syllabus says in the course description that we're going to be concerned mainly with Native American, African American, Hispanic American, and Asian American minorities in our society. So we're going to spend time looking at these various people groups, discovering how they interact, how they might be similar, how they might be different, and how they are treated in our culture. Our primary text, The Meaning of Difference, is actually divided into 4 separate sections. If you're following along with me, that's okay. If not, you can do this later. But if you look at the preface, under Organization and Conceptual Framework, the 4 separate sections talk about these different issues. How categories of difference are created, the experience of difference, the meanings that are assigned to difference, and what people can do to challenge and change these constructs of difference. So we're going to be looking at those 4 different topics, those categories, throughout our 5 weeks together. Toward the end of our time together, you're also going to be reading out of this book, Reconciling All Things, because we do want to maintain throughout our course of study a Christian perspective. As we look at this issue of diversity, as we consider various people groups and how we go about making meaning within these people groups and as we interact together, we want to keep a Christian mindset so that we look at people not just as the color of their skin or their gender or various things of that nature. We want to look at them also through the lens of Christ and see the spiritual aspects that there are to people. So again, this book here, Reconciling All Things, is going to talk about how do you bring a Christian perspective to dealing with different people groups. How do you reconcile all of our differences so that we can get along in a peaceful, just way? Now, as far as the assignments for this 5-week course, you will be doing quite a bit of reading. Each week you're going to be reading one of the framework essays, and then you'll select 2 articles from that section to discuss within your discussion boards. And again, I'm giving you a brief overview. So from workshop to workshop, there may be some slight differences, but each week I will post for you an overview video talking about that specific workshop. But in general, you'll have some readings, you'll have some discussion boards, and each week you will also engage in writing an essay of your own in response to a particular prompt. Let me stress right now that this course, I am not intent on convincing you to believe any certain way, trying to prove one thing right over another. We are exploring this topic together. So I expect there will be some differences of opinion. Let me just stress to you at the outset that we must make sure that we honor and respect each other's perspective and differences. That sometimes these topics we read about, some of them are very much current events. You can turn on the TV and you can see things about minority groups and racial tensions that exist around us. But these topics, this issue, diversity, it's something that we can grapple with and have differences about, but we need to, in this course, be able to enter into professional dialogue together as we explore these things, again, with the caveat that it needs to be through a lens of Christ, from a Christian perspective. So as we engage in our dialogue and our discussion, as you write your responses to one another, as you write your papers that I'll be reviewing and grading, keep in mind that how we express our ideas is very important. How we get along in this course, it would be shameful for us to study about diversity and how to reconcile our differences and to get along if we then in this course cannot do that ourselves. So from the outset, let me just encourage you that I welcome the plethora of perspectives, the differences that you're going to bring to our discussion, help us to learn from you, to learn from one another in a safe environment, okay? Number two, as we tackle the discussion boards, and as you do your weekly writing assignments, keep in mind the APA expectations of the university and of this course. I can be a tough grader. I don't try to be a tough grader. I want, though, for you to engage yourself in the exercise of writing, scholarly writing. And so, therefore, the APA requirement is there. So please make yourself familiar with APA guidelines. It would not hurt, if you haven't already done so, to purchase the APA 6th edition manual, or definitely make use of the resources that IWU provides for you, the links that are there in Learning Studio and other places you can get access to APA guidelines. Feel free to call me or email me or text me. You can't really text. Well, you could text me, I suppose. I have Verizon, so you can text me if you need to. If you're Verizon, of course, there's no cost to that, so that's great. But you can email me, you can call me, you can text me. I will do my best to get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. As I said, I'll try to post these videos on a weekly basis. I will be posting some devotionals. Sometimes I do my devotionals via video like this. Oftentimes it'll be just attached to a discussion board. I have a Facebook group. I'm in the military, and so I have a chaplain corner on Facebook where I post devotional thoughts and things for soldiers and their families. And if you would like, I can share that link with you to Facebook so you can be part of that social media experience as well. I just want to welcome you to this class. I want to tell you that I have good feelings about it, high expectations of our time together. There's a lot of material to read through, but don't let it be daunting to you. Hopefully it will broaden your understanding and your perspective as you consider race relations and diversity, and how we can celebrate our differences and come together in those things that we have in common to strengthen our relationships. Let me, before I close, also bring to your attention a few other supplemental books. They're not required at all, but they're books that I have found helpful in my time in human services and ministry. Here's a book. It's called Cultural Diversity. And I will also include these, the bibliographic information, in a short post along with this video. Here's a book called Knowing and Serving Diverse Families. And here's a really good book, A Framework for Understanding Poverty, A Cognitive Approach. Again, those last three books are not any kind of required reading for this class at all, but I believe in empowering you and giving you access to resources along your academic journey. So again, my name is James Saunders. I am your instructor. I'm happy about this opportunity we have to explore this topic of minority group relations. I look forward to learning from you, just as I hope you can learn from me as we engage in the readings and the discussion. If you have any questions or concerns at any time, please reach out to me. Email is probably best, but I can be reached by phone, 931-510-7747. And you can even shoot me a text, or a little while later, I'll put that Facebook link in one of my posts as well. Thanks so much for watching this video. I look forward to getting to know each of you. Please also, when you do your class autobiographies, if you would attach a picture so I can kind of see who you are, that would be much appreciated. Thank you so much. God bless.